Happy Friday to you, everyone. I guess you're probably glad that's the end of the week. Probably had some frustrations build up during this week. I know I've had a couple myself, just there's some difficult dogs to work with and just some really difficult situations. And frustration is the very reason why we are addressing a viewer's question today, because she's frustrated and the causality of her dog attacking her other dog really finds its root in being frustrated. Yep. When you're frustrated, lots of things can happen. A lot of bad things can happen. I've talked in the past about how laboratory rats were subjected to intermittent shocks, irritating shocks at all different times of the day. And the reason why they were given those shocks was to really measure their stress response. How does their body react to that? How do they emotionally react to it? And after doing it for a little while, they found that, wow, they didn't react very well. They got super stressed. They got super frustrated. So then they put a little wooden block inside their cage. And they kept up those little shocks about the same time, intermittently. And next thing you know, after a couple of those shocks, those rats would run over and sink their teeth into that wooden block. Just sink it in there. Well, guess what? After a couple of days, they measured their stress response, resting blood pressure, blood system, saturation level, cortisol, you name it, and they found it was much lower. So in other words, that block that they were sinking their teeth into became an outlet for frustration. Yeah, a great outlet. So we've talked about that before, so there goes my wooden block. So let's talk about what's happening with my client here. So I've got this Audrey, I'm just going to say her first name and I'll leave it at that, has two dogs. And she's been walking them lately, and when she has encountered other dogs approaching, the one dog gets very aggressive, snarling, lunging, pulling at the end of that leash, and just about the time they pass by, I'm going to have Evan come by with Alpine here, right about right here. So there we go. The dog just launches right in. The one just attacks the other dog. And we see this a lot when we're walking two dogs on a leash, and sometimes just the dog, just you and the dog launches into you. You're the recipient of it. Evan, who just walked by a second ago, was a recipient of it. He hadn't worked here for 2 days at Taming the Wild, and by golly, he got what's known as a redirect. So in the dog training world, you'll usually hear it referred to as a redirect. I'm redirecting, but it's not really accurate when you say it's a redirected aggression. It's really redirected frustration. You become the wooden block at that moment. The other dog becomes the wooden block at that moment. Its root is frustration. Just like it is with humans. If you want to create frustration in a human being, just put barriers between that human and their goal. And the more barriers you put in front of that human and their goal, the more frustrated they become. Use the example. You're on an interstate, you're traveling, and you just saw a sign back there a few miles back that says rest stop 1 mile ahead, or I guess that wouldn't make sense if it said 1 mile ahead, it's a few miles back. Okay, you just saw the sign, and it says rest stop 1 mile ahead, and you've got to go. You've been holding it for a long time. You've got to go potty. But brake lights. Come to find out, there's a stop in the flow of traffic. Everyone's come to a dead stop. And you're peering up ahead going, oh, how far is that rest stop? How much further is it? And the more cars there are between you and that goal, the more frustrated you're going to become. All right, that's a simple example. Well, the problem is that dogs run into barriers as well. Barriers in the form of a leash. I want to get at that dog. And sometimes it's not even just aggression. I just want to go there. I want to go to that dog. You see it with kids? I want this. You say no, they want it more. They start to scream, pitch an ever-loving fit. You know, when I was a kid, I used to say, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. But again, that don't hold for everybody. So you're jumping, screaming, pulling, yanking, everything. And we have dogs that do the same thing. They want that. They want an outcome. They want a goal. And you are the barrier. You're stopping it from happening. And because of that, you, dog, you could be stopping it as far as their interpretation. Or you're the closest wooden block there is. You're between me and the other human. So I just attack it. We see this a lot at doors, windows, gates. Yes, two dogs are there. Rawr, 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 rawr. I want it. I want it. I see someone walking by. Yeah, I see him. I want it. You want it. I want it more than you, and you're really frustrating me, and I can't get it, so I'll just take it out on you. Sometimes it's the Tanya Harding effect. Kid you not, I'm just going to take out my competition right now. Yeah, it's competitive in nature in many cases. But sometimes it's simply, I want this thing out there, and there's something between me and it, and I'm frustrated. And when that frustration reaches a certain level, it has to have an outlet. And suddenly the other dog, or you, becomes the wooden block. Okay, so that's why it's happening. Sometimes, again, if you ever read it, it's called a redirect. That's what they're talking about, just so we all know. Okay, so you've got this happening. What do? You own two dogs. Well, first things first, you deal with it with just one dog. So I just removed the dog out of the picture here. The dog, the problematic dog. Yes, you must solve the issue with this dog first. The other dog is typically just a wooden block. They're not, the only problem, the only thing that they're adding to the situation is just their presence. That's it. So you attack this thing directly and indirectly, meaning you have to provide more social support. You have to be that thing that is the priority signal. And that can be accomplished indirectly by going away from the situation, away from the provocative event, away from the provocative stimulus, and practice your training outside of that context. Yes, when I say sit, you have to sit. When I say down, you have to down. When I say come, you come. Be quiet. Everything. I have this control. You need to pay attention to me. You saw the video yesterday. If you didn't, go check it out. I am the priority signal. Not that thing. Not that approaching dog, not that approaching human. It's me. I'm it. I am the priority. And the only way you're going to get that is through practice and convincing the dog, and you convincing the dog through good quality training. And if it's a fearful situation, I'm really afraid, then I'm on this leash and I'm just getting really afraid. I'm just going to attack something. I got to buy something, by golly. Well, that situation there is where you provide that social support. And that's what good training does for you. It allows you to say, here comes an approaching dog. Come on by us again, Evan, with Alpine. So now all of a sudden I say heel or just sit. I got it. Yeah, I send that message down that leash. Hey, I got this thing. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of the passing dogs. I will take care of them. You don't worry about it. If you can make a dog respond reliably to your commands, then at a minimum, at least out of the two of you, you are more capable than I am at dealing with that thing. Yeah. There's a reason why wolves travel in a single file line. There's a reason. I'm out front, not because I'm the leader, because I'm more capable of dealing with any danger that we encounter on this journey. It's why you always see the more capable animals either out front when the visibility of the terrain is low, and sometimes in the middle or the back when I can see for miles. There's a reason why this occurs. I'm it. I got it. I'll control that. So make sure your dog's obedience is spot on. Spot on. I say sit, you just sit. I'm the priority signal. I'm it, not that. Work that. Work it, work it, work it. Then Go back into that same event, that same area, that environment, or that same provocative stimulus. Introduce it. Introduce it in a way in which it's practice. So kind of like getting ready to be an actor in a play. Let's use that for an example. It's not real, but it's close enough. Yeah, can dogs tell the difference between real and fake? A lot of times they can't, but it's close enough. It at least puts the situation in the same context. Approaching dog, and I'm going to control you. And you do that. And then when the dog proves that's trustworthy under those conditions, you reintroduce the dog again by itself. You notice I've not brought the other dog into the picture here. Not yet. Handling one dog is twice as easy as handling two dogs. So get your act together on the one dog. Convince it. Control the situation. Now, here comes the real deal. Use it as a measuring stick. Hey, sit. I would go for a sit with dogs like that. I probably wouldn't go for a down, only because if they're really worried about it, they're super, super worried about it, you're probably not going to get it down anyway, because again, nature told them if you're going to be attacked by something, you kind of need to be on your feet versus lying down on the job. So I'm just going to go for that sit. It's a little bit more of a ready position, but it gives a different image to the approaching person with their dog. My dog seems to be under control, so they're not so worried, and because they're not so worried, they're not feeding any worry into my dog. It's a reciprocating thing, byproduct of each other's movement and each other's response to each other's presence. So I'm just going to go for a sit, and then I'm going to relax. I got this thing. So come by again, Evan. So as they come by, good morning, nice dog you have there.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yes, big, lazy dog. All right. And we control. And then when that dog goes by, well done. Well done. But I don't want you doing any behavior with your dog that completely and utterly takes your eye off of this person and this dog. You need to be controlling everything, not just your dog, but even them. And if you have to, you can even get on the other side of your dog. So now I'm in here. I can make my dog switch, or I can do the switch. Either way, you're controlling the situation all the way through. One dog at a time. The dog, the main dog, the antagonist, the one that's attacking the other dog. That's the dog. When I had my sled teams up in Alaska, the dog that had to be under the most control with me, by far, the dog, was of course the lead dog. Yeah, we call them lead dogs, not just because they were leading everyone down a trail, because everyone was following that dog's actions, mimicking responses. Remember, I've told you before, smart mammals learn through free exploration. Well, that's how your dog gets in that situation to begin with. Something's coming, I go rawr, 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 and when I do, I go rawr, rawr, I pitch an ever-loving fit here, boom, they go away. Yeah, maybe they lived that way. They were going that way regardless of what you were doing. Now they're probably going a little bit more worried, a little bit more upset, a little bit more frustrated, but you think that you caused that outcome. And me, by the way, in their eyes, I didn't do squat. If this dog could talk, he'd probably go, hey, Bryan, why don't you chip in next time? So we got to flip that thing around. I caused that action. Me, I'm the lead dog. So not only did you learn this bad thing through free exploration, but now the other way that smart mammals learn is through mimicry. Yeah, so mimic what I do. I'm still. I'm calm. I'm quiet. I'm confident. And the only way it's going to happen is if you can convince that dog that you are capable of being cool, calm, collected, and can control the environment. So get busy. When you finally get the one dog under control, then, and only then, do you bring the other dog back into the picture. So yeah, guys, that means that for some of you, let me get my dogs all set up here. That means that you may have to spend a little bit of time, probably How much time? I don't know. Depends on who you get to practice with, who can help you with this situation, who can walk dogs by you, like I'm having Evan walk by Alpine by me. It's how much are you able to work on this. But regardless of how long that takes, it's worth it. Which means you might have to go for 2 walks a day. I got to take this one, the one I'm working on, then this one. And no one likes that. We're in a hurry-up world. We seem to not have enough time, and therefore, we just want this thing to get over with in a hurry. Patience is everything when you're dealing with something like this. Everything. Everything. And make sure you practice all the commands. So many times, again, like I told you, we get focused on this one issue. This one issue. When if you go and take care of your entire house, not just the front door, but the entire house. Meaning you got to sit good, you got to down good, even when nothing's going on. Those teachable moments I talk about. You're all commanding presence. Why, when you're not ready to be like that from a psychological standpoint, you've had a hard day, you're tired, you're worn out, then don't even attempt it. Go put the dog up, go put it anywhere. But don't give it a command. Yeah, it's all consuming. It is a presence. I've taken dogs that didn't know anything. They didn't know heel. They didn't know sit. They didn't know down. But before they met me, they were going after anything and everything that went by them. And then suddenly I just grab them, have a dog go by, and the owners go, oh my gosh. It's kind of like the car that makes all this noise, and I take it to the mechanic, and it doesn't make the noise. Yeah, I'm nothing special. My handling is special. And what's my handling? Just confidence. I just grab the animal and go, hey, I love you to death. Nice to meet you, but I tell you what, you're not going to do that. Yeah, you're a pretty cool looking dog, but I tell you what, you're not going to do that. And just having that presence, they get it. It's only natural that they get it. Have you ever been in a room with a lot of people and suddenly one person walks in? It's kind of like everyone just looks over there. Yeah. Person didn't say a word. They showed up. It's that bearing. It's that confidence. It's why I'm doing all these videos. Making the effort to do so I can put that confidence in you. So I can give you the skill, give you the knowledge. Let you know you can do this because you can. All right, so that's the end of this. Go back 1 dog at a time. 1. Practice it. Practice it all the time. Then practice the very thing that was going on. Have someone come by with a dog. A lot of different types of dogs. Lots of different types of people. Have a bicyclist come by. Have someone on a skateboard come by. Just work it, work it, work it, work it. Make sure you're progressing. No 2 lessons should ever be the same results. You should be progressing, moving forward. Could be baby steps, but nevertheless, they're steps. And then it's time to proof out what you've been doing. Now you go for the real deal. And you measure. If it doesn't work out so well, you don't get all emotional. You don't get all upset. You treat it like artificial intelligence. You go, bad move. That didn't work. Let me try another move. Pawn to bishop 3. Let's do that instead. See what we get. Yeah, artificial intelligence. Dogs don't hold grudges. You don't hold a grudge. They don't get all upset and flustered. They do, it goes away real quickly. They have artificial intelligence. You do the same thing. Okay, so a lot of you out there dealing with this, barrier frustration is really what I call it more than anything else. You can hear it called redirect. I don't care what you label it. What you're dealing with is frustration. And the animal needs an outlet, and they will choose a wooden block, just like the rest did. Train it the way I just told you, and I promise you, you will get past this. The only reason why you wouldn't is if we have a dog who's so maladaptive that now we need to intervene and use the help of chemicals to lower its stress response enough to where it's receptive to your input. But outside of that, And I know the dogs that this video was about. I know Audrey's dogs. She's not dealing with that. We just got to get back to work, separate for a while, come back together later. You guys do this, it'll get done. I got faith in you. You guys are the smartest. You're the strongest. You're the most confident dog trainers in the world. You will have total success getting this done. All right, guys, that's it for today. Get out there. If you got the situation going on, get it done. Roll up those sleeves. Let's go. Chop, chop. Make this thing happen. I'll see you guys tomorrow.